Welcome to a sacred space for extraordinary souls. Chosen one, your spirit is listening. Does this feeling sound familiar? Standing in a crowd, yet feeling utterly alone? Speaking the same language, but no one truly grasping the depth within you? Looking from the outside in, like watching a movie where everyone else is the star, and you're just a reluctant observer? If the echo of the outsider lives in your soul, then you've found the right place. This message is for you. And the first thing, the most important thing, you need to hear right now, it's not your fault. Repeat after me, if you need to, it's not my fault. This feeling of being lost isn't a sign that you've failed to fit in. It doesn't mean you're broken or that something's wrong with you. Quite the opposite. It's a sign of uniqueness, of a different frequency, a path destined to rise beyond the ordinary. Today, we're going to unpack this feeling, not to eliminate it, but to understand it, to uncover the power hidden within your isolation. Get ready to see your journey through an entirely new lens. Hit like if you've ever felt like an outsider, and subscribe to discover the truth of who you really are. Vibrate differently, living on a higher vibration. One of the main reasons you feel out of place is because you vibrate on a different energy frequency, often higher than the world around you. Imagine the world of energy as a vast symphony of frequencies. Most people operate on common vibrations, driven by fear, competition, and material concerns. But you, chosen one, carry a different frequency, one of light, love, truth, and sacred purpose. When your high vibration meets a lower one, disharmony is inevitable. It's like tuning into a radio station that doesn't exist on your dial. You feel misaligned. Shallow conversations drain you. The crowd's negative energy can leave you exhausted. You crave depth and authenticity, both painfully rare. This isn't pride or judgment. It's simply energetic difference. You can't easily blend into what no longer resonates with your soul. Recognizing this frequency gap helps you understand why fitting in feels so hard. It's not that you're doing something wrong. You're just tuned to a different wavelength. Instead of lowering your frequency to fit in, learn to protect and nurture your uniquely high vibration. How can you protect and nurture your high frequency? We'll explore that in the video Essential Keys to Protect and Nurture Your Frequency as a Chosen One. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our spirit-lifting content. Ancient wisdom. See through illusions. Do you often find yourself seeing things in a completely different way than those around you? Do you question the norms and beliefs that everyone else seems to blindly accept? Chosen one, that's because you often carry a deeper level of wisdom, sometimes ancient wisdom from past lives, or a direct connection to source. You're not easily swayed by surface-level explanations or the pre-packaged narratives of society. Your soul craves core truth. This innate knowing allows you to see through the illusions that many still live under. The illusion that material success is the only happiness, the illusion of separation, the illusion of power based on control and fear. Once you see these things, it becomes hard to participate in conversations or systems based on those illusions. It feels like you're speaking a different language. You try to explain your perspective, but you're often met with doubt or confusion. This naturally leads to a sense of isolation. How can you truly connect when your core perception of reality is so different? This doesn't mean you're strange or wrong. It's the gift of wisdom. Cherish this deep insight, even when it leaves you feeling alone at times. Divine purpose. Disrupting the system. Chosen one, you weren't selected to maintain the status quo. You were chosen to create change, to bring in new light, to challenge outdated systems that no longer serve our highest evolution. Your sacred purpose, whether you've fully realized it yet or not, often acts as a disruptor to establish systems of power, belief, and habit. You're here to question, to innovate, to heal, to raise the frequency. And by nature, that will be met with resistance. Systems, whether family, society, religion, or politics, and those who benefit from the current structure often do not welcome change. They feel threatened by new ideas, new methods, or anyone who challenges their power and comfort. As you begin to walk the path of your purpose, you may face opposition, criticism, or even intentional isolation. People may try to silence you, discourage you, or push you aside. Feeling like an outsider in this case isn't just about frequency. It's a reaction from the system to your sacred role as a disruptor. Remember, resistance is often a sign that you're making an impact, that you're touching the places that need to change. Don't let it stop you. Light that exposes the darkness. We've talked about how your light can make individuals uncomfortable, but this impact can also extend to entire groups. Your presence and vibration don't just reflect personal darkness. They can illuminate issues, inauthenticity, or imbalance within an entire group, family, or community. You might be the first to notice toxicity in a friend group, injustice in an organization, or a lack of authenticity in a family tradition. Just by being yourself and living your truth, you unintentionally become a catalyst that exposes what the group wants to hide or ignore. This can lead to you being labeled a troublemaker, negative, or not a team player. The group may try to isolate you, exclude you, or blame you for the discomfort your mere presence brings. They do this to protect the illusion or false sense of balance within the group. Being turned on or rejected by an entire group is incredibly painful. But understand this, it's the collective shadow defending itself against your light. You're not at fault when your truth exposes someone else's falsehood. Hold your light steady. It's necessary for transformation, even if it causes discomfort at first. Intolerance for inauthenticity, the narrow path of truth. One trait that often makes the chosen ones feel out of place is their zero tolerance for inauthenticity. Your soul craves truth, real connections, and transparency. This makes you highly sensitive to dishonesty, empty words, surface-level relationships, and the masks people often wear. You may feel energetically drained or even nauseated when engaging in insincere interactions. It's hard for you to play along, say things you don't truly feel, or participate in meaningless chatter just to please others. In a world where fakeness is often seen as a survival skill or a career move, your refusal to tolerate it sets you apart. You may find your social circle shrinking, as you can only sustain deeply honest and authentic connections. You'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who aren't real. This choice, though it may lead to temporary loneliness, is a powerful act of self-protection. It keeps your energy clean and opens the door for those who genuinely resonate with your frequency. Refusing to take part in inauthenticity is a brave act, and it's part of why your path may seem narrower than others. Spiritual trials and refinement in solitude. Sometimes, the feeling of isolation isn't just due to inner differences or outer reactions. It may be a divinely designed part of your path, a wilderness phase of trial and refinement. The universe may deliberately separate you from familiar relationships, settings, or support so you can face yourself on the deepest level. This isolation isn't meant to punish. It's meant to purify, strengthen, and deepen your direct connection to Source. When you're stripped of external support, you're forced to find strength within. You learn to trust your inner guidance more than the opinions of others. You confront your deepest fears and shadows without distraction. You build a more intimate relationship with the universe, realizing it's the only true source of support that never leaves you. This phase can be incredibly difficult, full of trials and deep loneliness. But it's in the fire of solitude that you're forged into a stronger, wiser, more resilient spiritual warrior. Gold is purified by fire. Diamonds form under immense pressure. See this isolation as a necessary preparation. You're being equipped to carry a greater mission. Misunderstood gifts. Speaking a different language. The unique gifts you carry, intuition, empathy, energetic sensitivity, are also what make you feel like an outsider. Simply put, most people don't experience the world the way you do. When you speak about a feeling you get about someone, a gut sense of an event, or picking up on the energy in a room, others may look at you with skepticism. They might say you're imagining things, too emotional or weird. They don't have a framework to understand these non-physical experiences because they rely mostly on the 5 physical senses and linear logic. This difference in how you perceive and process information creates a communication gap. You may find it hard to explain your insights to those who don't share the same level of sensitivity. You might feel alone in your spiritual experiences with no one to truly share them with. But that doesn't make them any less real or valuable. It simply means you're speaking a spiritual language not everyone understands. Instead of trying to convince those who aren't ready to hear, seek out those who can understand and appreciate your gifts. And more importantly, trust your own experience, even when others can't validate it. Uncompromising integrity. The cost of standing firm. Another reason you may feel set apart is your unwillingness to compromise your core values. Chosen ones often have a strong sense of truth, justice, and ethics. You're not easily swayed by peer pressure, popular trends, or promises of personal gain if they go against your inner compass. In a world where shortcuts, small lies, or ignoring injustice are often tolerated for acceptance or advancement, your firm stance can set you apart. You refuse to engage in toxic gossip. You speak up when something is wrong. You keep your word and act with integrity, even when no one's watching. This uncompromising integrity can alienate you from those who feel judged or who prefer to operate in moral gray areas. They may call you rigid, idealistic, or unrealistic. But to you, living out of alignment with your values is more painful than isolation. Holding your ground, even at the cost of social acceptance, is an act of strength and self-respect. It's a vital part of maintaining energetic purity and fulfilling your mission. Not seeking external validation. Freedom from the system. Finally, chosen one. You feel out of place because you're not bound by the need for external validation like most people are. Society runs on a complex system of approval and recognition through status, wealth, appearance, social media likes, and so on. People often try to fit in, be liked, and earn praise from others. But you on some level have started to, or already have, opted out of that game. Your self-worth now stems from within, from your connection to energy and your understanding of purpose. You don't need anyone's permission to feel whole. You don't need the crowd's applause to know you're on the right path. This independence from the external validation system gives you incredible freedom, but it can also make you feel different. You're not running a race after what others deem important. You're not affected by the trends or pressures that sway the rest. This can confuse or even unsettle those still stuck in the system. They don't know how to engage with or control someone who needs nothing from them. Your freedom from the need for validation is a powerful force, and it's one of the core reasons you feel like an outsider, a free and powerful one. Embrace your uniqueness. Chosen one. Feeling like an outsider isn't a sign of failure or lack. It's proof of your high vibration, the wisdom you carry, the divine purpose you follow, The light you emit, your intolerance for falseness, the refinement you're undergoing, and your liberation from external validation. It's not your fault. It's an essential part of who you are and the unique path you walk. Instead of resisting it or forcing yourself into unfit molds, begin to embrace it. See your difference as a gift. Find strength in solitude when needed, knowing that's where you connect most deeply with yourself and the source of all energy. Seek out your tribe, those who see and honor your light. Keep walking your path with courage and integrity. You are not alone. A whole invisible army of light stands with you. And many others like you around the planet are raising the frequency every single day. Hold your head high, chosen one. Your uniqueness is your power. It's time to let it shine. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment if today's message resonated with you. Thank you for being part of this community. I wish you a life filled with abundance and prosperity.